Every day, a familiar scene unfolds at the school gate near our home. The bell rings, and grandparents relieve their grandchildren of heavy school bags, hand them snacks, and watch over their play. I was once part of this daily ritual. This heavy backpack that once bonded my grandmother now falls into my lands. In China, motherhood is like a never-ending relay race. These grandparents, freshly retired from their jobs, quickly take on another full-time or part-time job, child care. But how should we perceive this practice in contemporary China? Simone de Beauvoir said, "One is not born, but rather becomes a woman." Then, what does it mean when a woman becomes a mother? Conversing with my grandmother, my shallow mother in some extent, I seek to understand how this modest Chinese woman constructs her own understanding of nurturing and motherhood throughout her seemingly ordinary life. My grandmother Qian Jiazhen, born in the 1950s, was the fourth child in her family. In the 1950s and 60s, soon after the founding of People's Republic of China, building the nation became the top priority. Many answered the call to work on tough front line like mine factories or cotton fields. Back then, the belief that building the nation was more important than building a small home influenced many families. It led to family separations, and grandmother was sent to live with her relatives in Wuxi.
我那时候的想法很简单的，我觉得我爸爸妈妈能够响应国家的号召去这边，很荣幸，很伟大。
My great-grandmother raised 6 daughters during a time when the more children, the more glory was a national motto. Childbearing was a publicly lauded duty, yet no policy document ever discussed how to feed 6 children at once.
他是那时候社会的家庭富裕，他比那个一般的妇女都先进，思想开放。他上进心蛮好，好学，心地善良，艰苦朴素，对我们的子女比较严格要求。那时候40年代、50年代的女人是没有上学的，她后来到新疆去以后，上了夜校，找出了文盲，所以后来就会写信了。妈妈经常写信，不过没有爸爸多。经常嘱咐我们的是怎样做人，怎样照顾好自己，做一个世界国家有用的人。
那你会不会在信中提到有关于母亲？
有的，他会写妈妈最近在忙什么，时不时的会提起我们，他们两人在家里聊天的时候，时不时的要会提起我们不在身边的子女，好像没有在意。
你还是觉得这是一个非常正常的事情？就是觉得，因为你已经知道你爸爸妈妈是去新疆，是去建设国家，所以你是能理解他们。
非常理解。
My grandmother still treasures the letters sent by her parents, who were then living in Xinjiang. To her, her mother was a model of national service, albeit a somewhat blurry figure. She occasionally appears in the greetings from those letters, also often through my grandfather's writing. Now, as my grandmother pores over these letters, does she dwell on those distant memories, or does she continually sketch out the ideal mother she aspires to be? Time flies, and soon, my grandmother started working at state-owned Wuxi No. 4 weaving factory, while also becoming a mother herself. Though she no longer had to endure the pain of mother-daughter separation, in those times of scarce social services, she had to juggle her demanding job and family life, struggling to find a balance.
那时候我生了他，还有吃奶的时候，第1年我是上班。他爸爸是干消防的，晚上不在家，我是上班中班了，就让他在床沿挡一点东西，大概是3-4个小时，他一个人在家。我生了他56天就上班了，就可以带到托儿所去，托儿所专门的那个阿姨照顾。那当然工作也需要， 家庭也需要，两个都一重要。自力更生，自己能够养活自己，要照顾家庭，照顾小孩，而且要体谅丈夫的职业。工作也忙的，我能够解决掉，就不要去麻烦他。
In these untold stories of the past, I image my grandmother facing all challenges with her immense strength. Was it the idea of supermom that inspires her? Or was there simply no reasons to escape in a world where all women were expected to be so resilient? As she often said, it's my duty, and her view of co-parenting as a form of dependence speaks to the deep-seated gender expectations that shapes her. Although the concept of intensive mothering wasn't popular back in the 1990s, the relentless social expectations on mothers are still palpable. Time swiftly brings us to the present. My mother grew up from a young girl to a bride and then to a young mother herself. However, as China embraced a new century, the workplace demanded more from women, and career success became a testament to one's self-value. In my region, a daughter will not be wrongly treated as water thrown out according to the Chinese slang, and still receives continuous support from her maternal family. In fact, my grandmother had already picked out a nearby house when my mother got married, simply to make it easier to help out. Even her urging for my mother to have children was driven by her desire to share the care work, allowing my mother to thrive in her career.
现在他们的工作的时间跟我们的那时候不一样的，我们那时候是我上班了把他带到我托儿所里去，我下班了把他带回家了，多方便啊！现在是没有托儿所的，只能在家里。他们上班比我们的那时候的上班压力大，我们那时候是比较轻松的。那时候是想的是互相照顾方便。我们那时候是刚退休，我有的是时间可以照顾我女儿的小孩，所以不要跑来跑去两头跑，小孩也不受罪，我也方便，很享受的一种事情，这才是天伦之乐。主要的就是年轻的父母现在工作压力大，小孩的竞争压力大。
如果您的女儿又怀孕了，你会有什么想法？你会做什么？
肯定是妻子喜啊。虽然带小孩有点怕了，这时候还是很乐意接受的。
My grandmother chuckled at my last question. Yet, I knew she would wholeheartedly take on more responsibilities and fulfill every role required of her. She manages social imperfections with duty and love, turning pressures into moments of joy, which also brings a touch of sadness to me. In the book Woman's Work, Stark discusses using hired help to solve woman's dilemma between work and childcare, yet she still couldn't let go her inner moral conflicts. She wrote, "We've driven a net of compromises, sacrifices, and money, all revolving around me, my work, my money, my utopian vision of a fair trade. But these visions never really come to pass." In reality, one side of the Chinese society introduces the three-child policy, while the other side has seen more women, like my grandmother, standing at the school gate. When motherhood becomes a baton passed down through generations, what are we really passing? Love or a patch for the systemic care deficiencies? Deep down, I know I owe a debt to my grandmother, as she often skips outing with friends to ensure my dinner is ready. She should be using this time to explore the world and enjoy her life. Sometimes, I wonder if she misses her carefree pre-motherhood herself, a true self that belongs to her. Today, we sit in our old home, reminiscing and narrating the experiences of several generations in this small space. The story told by my grandmother about being a daughter, a mother, and a grandmother isn't about right or wrong, nor should it be described with tones like "you are traditional" or "you are unconventional." Time changes, but motherhood has always been intertwined with labor, duty, pain, and strain. When mother becomes a verb, each stroke writes out my grandmother's life. My grandmother harbored a purest desire to outfit her child and her grandchild, never resisting the rules of motherhood she repeated to herself, even sweetly adhering to them. Yet, through her experiences, I've seen how the Chinese society disciplines and shapes women. She's not punk, perhaps even too obedient, but it's between these sensible moments that I realized how crucial it is to build a truly female-friendly society. Because what we really need is not just tougher women, but a better supported society.